Hello, my name is Michael McKeldin-Woody, and we're here in Cranston, Rhode Island today, which is about 14 miles south of where the American Industrial Revolution began at Samuel Slater's mill in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Well, we're here today to look at a company that is revolutionizing manufacturing again here in the United States, Trans-Tex LLC, an American dragon that uses the principles of fewer, faster, and finer to beat China manufacturers at their own game. Let's go take a look. I'm here today talking to the operations manager for Trans-Tex LLC, Bob LaFerriere. And Bob's going to tell us about how he institutes the principles of fewer, faster, and finer every day to beat China manufacturers. So, Bob, tell me, how quickly can you turn product here?
Sometimes we get orders for 5,000 pieces. We get them one day by noontime, we get the artwork. We ship it the next day by 5:30, 7 o'clock the next day.
So you're telling me customized product the next day?
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely
amazing. You know, one of the things I love about what Trans-Tex LLC does is they're not making high-tech products. They're making very basic product like lanyards, for example. So Bob, how can you make small quantities of lanyards?
Small quantities of lanyards we run on the digital press machine. But we can do up to 100 pieces, up to a few thousand pieces in just a matter of a few hours of printing time on these machines. So as long as we can turn these products here over the turn time really quickly, we can beat the Chinese manufacturers.
Yeah, you know, I've read that it takes about, for 2,500 lanyards like this, it takes a Chinese company around 3 weeks to do it. Could you do it in how long?
A day.
Amazing. Bob, it's pretty hot in here. These machines are running, what, 400 degrees?
400 degrees, yes they are.
And what are they doing exactly?
They're transferring the print from the paper onto the material.
So when you're making these lanyards, that's an important part of the process, right?
Absolutely.
You're not just making lanyards like this, you're printing ribbon, you're printing shopping cart straps.
Yeah.
So what is it that motivated you and Trans-Tex to get faster and faster?
It's the supply and demand. We were doing about 5,000 or so lanyards a day. We're up to 30,000 now. The more the customer demanded out of us, the more we had to grow to stay in the business.
Did you have to put on extra shifts to handle that?
Absolutely. We had to add more equipment, we added more people, and extra shifts to get it out the door.
Great work. That's how you beat China. Fewer, faster, finer. Bob, a couple of hours ago, we were out at the Flexo presses, and I saw this paper coming off the press, and now what's going on? It's already over here. What are they doing now?
Yes, this is one of our 24-hour turnarounds. Neon is hot right now, and the customer required we get this out as soon as possible. We made the paper this morning. We're transferring now. We'll be winding it in another hour. It'll be going out today.
So artwork last night, paper this morning, transfer now, rolling, and this thing's going to be out of here to the customer this afternoon?
Yes, it will be.
Yeah, beat that, China. And what happens here?
This is where after the paper gets made, we do the transfer. This is where all the cutting and assembling happens.
And when an order comes in, how quickly do they get that thing ready to go out the door?
We don't take a lot of time to do. A couple of hours.
Couple of hours?
Depends the quantity.
Only 2 hours?
No, the quantity. So 2 hours for 250 pieces, that's enough.
Yeah, still, that's muy rapido, huh? How's my Spanish? Is it okay?
Not too good.
Okay, that's all right. Jane, you've been here at Trans-Tex for about 4 years now. How has the process changed, and how have you sped up the process of getting orders out to the factory floor?
I think it's in checking production every day and talking with the production manager, checking what orders came in that day. He looks through them to make sure he's got enough stock in production to produce the orders.
So communication is a key. So you can't be a finer company unless you got finer people. So the final piece of this process is getting this shipment out the door and getting it to the customer on time, making sure that there are no mistakes. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you don't always ship to Trans-Tex's customer. Is that correct?
Correct.
Sometimes you ship to Trans-Tex's customer's customer, right?
Exactly.
But doesn't that customer get nervous? Doesn't your customer get nervous that you're shipping something to their customer?
No, not really. That's why we always make sure that Trans-Tex is not mentioned so that those customers aren't interfered with the shipment.
So you're blind shipping that?
Yes, we do.
And your customer trusts you to do that?
Yes, they do.
Wow, wow.
Really.
So again, trustworthiness. That's one of the weaknesses in the China business model, because they'll quite often inadvertently or purposely ship around their U.S. customer's customer. That doesn't happen in an American dragon like Trans-Tex. When I arrived here at Trans-Tex LLC this morning, this was just simply artwork. That artwork has now been converted to paper, the paper is converted onto printed ribbon, and now this customized printed ribbon in small quantities, only 1,000 yards, is going to be shipped to a Trans-Tex LLC customer. Same-day service. So that's the principles of fewer, faster, and finer in action. And it's indicative of how Trans-Tex LLC has grown double-digit every year in sales increases throughout the depths of the Great Recession. We want to hear your stories about how you're implementing the principles of fewer, faster, and finer to beat China manufacturers. So please go to our website, americandragon.us. You can link to our Facebook page and tell your story about how you're beating China manufacturers using the principles of fewer, faster, and finer.